Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So for this video, I want to talk about the controversy surrounding Jerry Jones. The Washington Post released a photograph of Jerry Jones with a group of white people opposing black people who were trying to integrate a high school. And this photograph is 65 years old. It's a photograph from the civil rights era. And so there's been a lot of controversy around this. And so what I want to do is talk about that. And recently, the brother LeBron James spoke out about the media and its hypocrisy around this issue. He talked about how the media had a lot of questions for him and other black people, basically, when it came to Kyrie Irving. And we all remember the situation involving Kyrie Irving. He simply posted a link to a documentary. And because of that, he was widely condemned and criticized and accused of anti-Semitism. And as a result of that whole situation, the NBA came up with a list of things that this brother had to do in order to get into the good graces of Mr. Charlie or Mr. Goldberg or whatever. He had to do all these things simply for posting a link to a video, and black people were asked about this situation, and the brother LeBron James was asked about it, and he basically criticized Kyrie Irving and all that kind of stuff. But the media did not have a single question for LeBron James around this Jerry Jones situation. So he called them out for that. And rightfully so, because the media is hypocritical. The media, they couldn't care less, for example, when Kanye West made these anti-black statements. They talked about it for a minute, but other than that, they didn't really care nothing about that. Corporate America didn't care nothing about Kanye West's anti-black statements. They were cool with that. It was all good as far as that was concerned. They didn't cancel anything over his anti-black statements. They were fine with White Lives Matter and all that stuff. They were still conducting business as usual with Kanye West. But the minute he made anti-Semitic statements, they were quick to condemn and cancel him. All those corporations canceled him, banks canceled him, etc. The media canceled him. They had all these questions for people around him and Kyrie Irving rather, but they didn't have that same energy as Kyrie Irving pointed out. They didn't have that same energy. And LeBron James quoted Kyrie Irving about that issue of the same energy, because they simply don't. And I'm glad that the brother LeBron James called them out on that. And, I want to talk about this whole thing with this photograph. This photograph is significant. This is not, a situation where somebody simply posted some link to a documentary. This is a situation where this man participated in the oppression of black people and the deliberate attempt to deny black people equal educational opportunities. That's what this is about. It is not something that's trivial at all. It is something that is very important. It's not something that can be dismissed or swept under the carpet. And Jerry Jones, actually expects us to believe that he was just there as some kind of spectator. He didn't look like a spectator in that photograph to me. At that time, there were all these demonstrations going on and all that kind of stuff against Jim Crow. There were people protesting for civil rights. How in the hell are you going to expect us to actually believe that you was just there as a spectator? He wasn't there opposing, these races. He was there participating in racism against black people. Now, I know some people will dismiss the fact, this whole photograph because it was 65 years ago. To hell with that. To hell with people like a Stephen A. tap dancing coon. To hell with them. Because, like when it comes to other people They don't give you a pass because something happened years ago. When it comes to, Nazi Germany and the people that participated in the Holocaust, they don't give them a pass because it happened so long ago. They hunt them down and hold them accountable and bring them to justice. And the other thing is, this is not just about something that happened 65 years ago. But before I go to that, I'll say this. We need to be the same way that other people are, that don't just brush things aside because it happened a certain period of time ago. There needs to be accountability, and people need to be called out for participating in the oppression of Black people. But the other thing is, it's not just about 65 years ago. This is about continuing racism. This is about a owner who refused to hire any Black head coaches during their tenure. This man has not hired a single Black head coach. They had some situations where they put on a show for you, where they did a horse and pony show just to go through the motions, where they would interview a Black person with no intentions of hiring a Black person for that head position. But to appease people and silence the critics, they gave you a horse and pony show. But this man has not hired a single head Black coach. And that's something that needs to be called out. In addition to that, this man threatened to fire Black athletes on the team who participated in those protests against police brutality, who had the courage to kneel during games to condemn police brutality, following the example of Colin Kaepernick. This man threatened to fire those people. So this is not just about 65 years ago. This is about today. This is about what's going on right now. And this stuff needs to be called out. History actually does matter. It matters where you were at the time when people were fighting for civil rights. Were you on the side of the fight for justice, or were you against the fight for justice? So I'm glad that the brother LeBron James called the media out for its hypocrisy, because the media is quick to run to a Black man and ask a Black man to throw his brother under the bus in order to get in the good graces of white people. But they don't have that same kind of energy when it comes to something involving anti-Black issues, anti-Blackism. They don't have that same kind of energy for that. So I commend the brother for speaking out on it. And I have to call out people like Stephen A. Coon, for tap dancing, buck dancing, putting on an Uncle Ruckus routine to appease these white folks. That's so disgraceful. That's so despicable. What's the extent to which some of our people will go to appease Mr. Charlie.